Greetings. It is Brother Man Trucking back with another short film. Not sure who this video is for, but let's just get into it. If you turn on YouTube, you probably seen some of the headlines of food shortage. Food shortage is here, food shortage is there. I don't need to do an extensive video on that. Plenty of information out there. But along those lines, here's one of the reasons why there's a food shortage. It's a supply chain disruption. Whoever they are, the powers that be, whoever they may be, you got these food manufacturing warehouses and factories. All of a sudden, they're just catching fire and burning up, or burning down, up or down, burning down. You got, chicken plants catching fire, losing thousands of birds, hundreds of thousands of birds, along with, that comes along with egg production, right? So all these little things, it seems to be all happening at once. Before, there was like little isolated incidents like here and there would be like some time that would go by. Now, all of a sudden, it's all at once, along with some other stuff. So there's a supply chain disruption, which is causing the food shortage. And part of that is a worker shortage. People don't want to work. They can't find help to fill these positions in the warehouses, the ones that haven't burned down yet, right? So he's like, okay, how do you put all this stuff together? I mean, what's going on? Well, I don't have all the answers. All I can do is speculate just like everybody else. But I do have some facts here. It has been reported, right? Now, keep in mind, the food warehouses have burned down, or they're burning down. It seems like just about every week something is on fire, burning down. Bill Gates organization, I don't know him personally. I'm just going by what has been reported. He is the largest farmland owner in America. 242,000 acres of farmland, as it has been reported. I'm just going off of reports. I don't know this 100%. I'm just going off of what has been reported. So the property that his organization that he's a part of, his organization owns, carrots, onions, potatoes, soybeans, rice, and this Beyond Meat and Impossible food. So I don't want to just use your imagination. So the same guy that it was, I would say, I want to say this because I don't want to get a trademark infringement. Just use your imagination. Just look at previous current events that made a whole bunch of disruption going on in just your everyday life, with things like the Rona and, all kinds of things like that. The virus guy, just use your imagination. I don't want to, make false claims. But yeah, he's the owner of 242,000 acres, and he farms this stuff. But then you have other factories that are burning down. And check this out. If you do a little bit more research, he owns, as it has been reported, he owns more than 10% stock in John Deere farming equipment. Interesting. See, there was a conversation with, somebody took me on the chin because when I said you might want to start calling yourself, if you have your trucking enterprise or whatever, when you're in the corporate world, using their terminology, and I said CEO, Chief Energizing Officer, which could stand for Chief Energizing Officer, or it could stand for Chief Executive Officer. It's interchangeably. One day you might be the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. The following day, you might be the Chief Energy Officer or Chief Energizing Officer. That means it's your job to keep morale up. So you pick which one you want to be that day. I don't know why I need to go over that, but the guy took me on the chin. He's like, "No, you diss me." Okay, well, it means make up your own definitions. You chief executive officer, make up your own definitions. That's how I look at it. Um, so, well, excuse me, what else we got here? Fertilizer shortage. So back to the food shortage, right? So you got the plants burning down. You got this guy. He owns, the largest farmland owner in America. So now you got a fertilizer shortage. So even if you do have land, and your crops you have a short window of time to get your crops in the ground, for the next harvest season, which is, the end of summer, early fall. If you use conventional fertilizer, there's a shortage. So where are those crops going to be at that time? So yeah, next fall, that's going to be pretty interesting. And along with the fertilizer shortage, they make DEF out of fertilizer. So if there's a DEF shortage in a lot of these newer trucks, it's amazing how they planned all this stuff out, or how this stuff is happening, that there's a fertilizer shortage. Now there's a DEF shortage, and the newer trucks need DEF, not unless they're deleted, to operate. So, but we're not hearing too much about that. Like I said, I got a little list here. So that's all I'm going to talk about for this one. So I'll give you a remedy. So with the food shortage, right? Now, this is where I put on the CEO cap, the Chief Executive Officer hat. Now, we actually got to put on both hats for this one. Chief Energizing Officer and Chief Executive Officer, right? So food shortages, they're right now, what I've noticed is they're localized, because I would look at the videos and I would look at the comments where people are saying, like, our store list is packed pretty good. It's a little light, but not as light, not as empty as some other stores, or full as some other stores, or whatever. But here is a remedy. You guys that run reefer trailers and you run back and forth, from wherever you go, when you go to a different area, maybe you can load up on food. One of the places now just keep this between us. Now that YouTube actually pushes my channel down, because I don't get nearly as many views as I used to. So I can go ahead and put this information out there and it won't reach the masses. So here's a remedy. Let's say you go to a city, like a big city. Find a restaurant depot. Now this is if you got a couple $100 in your pocket and you buy food in bulk, and you got a reefer trailer, so you can buy refrigerated or frozen food, for an extended period of time. Find a restaurant depot. This is what their card looks like. Restaurant depot. This is a place where restaurants shop. Restaurants and mom and pop, maybe mom and pop grocery stores and so on and so forth. This is where they shop. Membership is free. During the Batwing Soup scenario, they were giving day memberships, day passes out in the store. Otherwise, you need a membership. Membership is free. Business name, EIN, fill out the information. They give you a card. But you can load up on this. You can go to the store. It's a big box store like Costco and BJ's, where you can buy bulk foods. Some stores have fish. A lot of stores have. I've only been to two on this side where I'm at, and Philadelphia and Wilmington. So they had plenty of meat. They had plenty of fish. They had lamb. They had goat. Flour. Think big box of 50-pound bag of flour. If you get the cheap flour, wasn't that much. It was like $15 for a 50-pound bag of flour. I'm trying to think what else. So if you're the CEO, whichever acronyms you want to use with your CEO, that's a place where you can buy food that the general public generally doesn't know about. In case the grocery store is running low on meat or something like that, they also have vegetables and stuff. Just a little nuggets here and there to help my trucking brothers out and other people that may be able to use the information. That's all. See ya.